what part of me can't handle this? What part of me can't handle just being? What part of me still needs a cup of coffee to avoid myself? What part of me is telling myself that to have a joint would enhance this situation, would enhance my experience, would allow me to feel better? When all the evidence shows, when even intellectually and spiritually I can feel and I know, like there's an absolute knowing that if I was to smoke a joint now, I would experience anxiety in my stomach, I would experience less clarity in my mind, I would go into stories about future, stories about past, and ultimately I would end up watching YouTube videos. It's about 11 in the morning. I would end up watching YouTube videos. There's something that happens when I get stoned. It's kind of the opposite of what people tell you happens when you get stoned, but I do think it's different for everyone, and definitely different depending on what stage you're at. So, just to be clear, I'm a massive advocate of cannabis. I'm a massive advocate of numbing out. Life's really tough, and I think it probably kept me alive for at least 10 years of my life. There was definitely stages where I needed to not feel. There were definitely stages where it's a funny one because you actually feel more. You know, smoking the green herb takes you out of the mind and into the body in many ways, and I think that's a really valuable journey at periods of awakening. But just for where I'm at now, I'm not really in the mind anymore, and it seems that smoking the green herb takes me more into the mind, and I need stimulation, hence I start watching YouTube videos, and then I get more stoned and I need more stimulation. So I'll have a wank about 2-3 o'clock. I'll have a wank, which is obviously very external, very sensationary, very avoidance of feeling self. And then I'll go into more YouTube videos, and then by the end of the night I'll be watching X videos, as in like shorts on X, because I'm so stoned and so in the mind. There needs to be a powerful external shadowy element to satisfy that. So I know all that's true, and right now I sit here in peace, relatively. There's no anxiety in my stomach. I think the desire to get stoned actually comes from my head, it comes from my mind, it comes from this old pattern, this old story, that when I have nothing to do, I can't handle it and I get stoned. How long can I just sit here for? Obviously facing that way, where I'm not talking to you guys, and just be, knowing that this is better than being stoned. What is it about myself, about silence, about stillness, that I can't stand, that I want to avoid, when actually it's all I crave? All I crave is peace and silence. And then when I find it, I avoid it. It's funny how the shadow works, isn't it? How the ego, psychology, how Thanatos that Freud talks about lives within all of us, this part of us that doesn't really want to be here. So he talks about Thanatos and Eros. I hope I'm saying that right. So Eros is the part of you who wants to be alive, the part of you that wants to create, that wants to paint a picture, that wants to, you know, be part of life and be part of it all. And then there's Thanatos that is essentially wanting to end it. So that's the part of you that wants to get stoned, that wants to masturbate, that doesn't want to get out of bed in the morning, but ultimately wants to be dead. And, you know, I see myself as a pretty, relative to humanity, which is obviously no great barometer, because it's crap. You know, I see myself as a very high functioning individual. I see myself as a very conscious individual. However, there's still a much stronger part of me that wants to destroy itself than it wants to express and shine and be peaceful and be present. You know, I can go to external reasons and excuses for that. I can go to, you know, the way humanity reacts when one is authentic, when one shines, when one is the mirror to everyone else. You're not popular. But then at the same time, you also don't need popularity. Like, you don't need others. You don't need the confirmation of others anymore. You leave all that behind. But it's still a lot to hold. You know, it's still a lot to hold. Like, just non-stop projection from plebs, essentially. So there's this desire from the ego to not shine. There's this desire from the ego to stay small. And I think that's where smoking the green herb has come in for me. Like, more recently, like there was a time where it was just survival, but more recently I think it's a way of keeping myself small, of stopping the shining, of stopping the triggering of plebs, even though I still trigger them massively. But I would go to levels of authenticity and shininess and not giving a fuckness that would really trigger people, and then it's a lot to hold. But at the same time, you're becoming more authentic, and these projections are bothering you less and less. It's a really interesting one. You would think it's simple and obvious: just don't smoke, become the highest version of yourself, shine, and know that people's projections are just coming from their kinks, their cognitive dissonance, their, you know, low vibration, and it's nothing to do with you. But there's something in the human that you know, we're so innately designed and conditioned, I think more conditioned, to seek the approval of others. It's mad, isn't it? When it really means nothing at all. So how long am I going to be able to sit here for without getting stoned? How long before I self-sabotage, knowing that I'm going to self-sabotage, knowing that I'm going to ruin my day? Honestly, I'm so close to just not doing it anymore. Just letting go of this self-sabotage part of me. Just being with it all. So yeah, there's a slight nervousness in my stomach now when I talk about letting go. But it's like, it's the same feeling as if I was to get stoned, but it's like, I don't think it's even 5%. Why would I want to bring that on more? Why do I need to feel anxiety more? What more has anxiety got to teach me? I don't think much. I think I've been in it for a long time. It's taught me pretty much everything it has to teach me. And I think now the new learnings will come from the transition, the leaning into the fear of not being in fear. It's like, it's all I've known for so long. Anxiety and fear is all I've known for so long. It's like easier, it's more comforting. It's more comforting to be in pain because pain is what I know. Whereas peace and the level of responsibility that it comes with is daunting. Really daunting. But I'm ready to really lean into it. You know, no matter what that looks like. Because ultimately it really does look like upsetting people. So like, telling people you're around, but no, I'm sorry, I don't want to chat. I don't want to meet you in your mind. I don't want to meet you on this, from where I'm speaking now, this low vibration, this vibration that makes me have to think, be exhausted, be bored, be tired of ego and nonsense and inauthenticity. I want to meet you here. And meeting you here requires silence. It requires vulnerability, and there's so much vulnerability in silence. You try sitting with a friend and just being silent, and you watch them squirm, and you feel yourself squirm. You know, that's the place we're acting from, this squirmy place that just wants to satisfy others, to be liked and be accepted, and to not be rude. You know, it's just nonsense. I'm so done with it. I'm so done with it. There's some more musings for you. Do what you want with them. Maybe I'll see you again. Maybe I won't. See you later, love.